We've got a number of big Japanese RPGs that are ready to break the internet and sales records when they come out that are waiting in the wings. Now, the first half of 2024 had a number of high-profile releases like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Grand Blue Fantasy, Relink, and more. But it seems like the second half and also into 2025 is going to be even bigger for Japanese RPGs, and we could see some record-breaking sales numbers for specific games across the board. But before we get into that and so much more, what's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you are someone new. Click that notification bell to get my videos as soon as they drop. Now let's go ahead and jump into this RPG second half / early 2025 revolution that we're going to be seeing. Shout outs to Nintendo Everything and Famitsu, because we've got the latest charts here, and what it does is it actually pulls the readers on what they're looking forward to. But if you look at the games that are in the top 10, a lot of these titles are going to have massive worldwide appeal. Now, if you start off just at number 11, because there are a couple repeats with multiple platforms, but if you start at number 11, you've got Visions of Mana, and that game is going to be pretty good. It's coming out next month. I think it's going to be a solid AA-ish type of RPG with some high production value and polish overall. Look for that to be one of the games that people come out and say, this is a sleeper hit. That's a lot better than what the scores say it is. I mean, the Trials of Mana game was awesome. Visions of Mana coming out, finally a brand new Mana game in so many years, is going to be awesome here. So look forward to Visions of Mana. I think that game's going to do better than what some people are thinking. You also take a look at Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake, which is at number 8 on the PlayStation 5, in addition to Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake, which is number 3 on the Nintendo Switch. So 2 of the versions in the top 10, which is really good. And obviously Dragon Quest is a huge franchise in Japan, just massive, and it's gaining steam. It's getting more and more popularity here in the West. I do think that Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake is going to be the breakout for the Dragon Quest series when it comes to sales of an older title. The previous games never really did anything too crazy here in the West, but Dragon Quest XI was really good. But I think this game will be the second best selling game in the West. Don't know if it's going to be able to top what Dragon Quest XI did, but I do feel that Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake will do better than all of the previous Western releases of older Dragon Quest games. So look out for that, guys. That's going to be a huge launch this November. I cannot wait to pick that up. I'll be playing it on PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch. You know, I got a double support for the old school JRPGs. Now, another massive RPG that's coming up that should set some records is Pokemon Legends ZA. That's going to be probably Q1 or first half of 2025. We still don't know if there is going to be a Switch 2 version of the game. It is confirmed for Switch 1, but I do feel that Pokemon Legends ZA is going to be shocking because people are expecting it to be like Pokemon Legends Arceus, which makes complete sense. Obviously, Pokemon Legends, it shares the name, but I do feel that because they didn't actually show us anything at this point, because they went like with the CG kind of putting together the city, the direction, the focus, and a key game here, which was a bad thing when it launched, but I think it's going to be beneficial overall for the structure of Pokemon games, or at least when it comes to the time they take. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, having that game basically get panned overall with graphics and people talk about, to where it actually prompted Nintendo to respond in a way. I think we're going to see the first results of Nintendo and Pokemon Company and Game Freak working together a bit more closely when it comes to the visual look of the Pokemon games. Now, Pokemon Legends wasn't necessarily a great looking game visually, although the style was awesome, but graphics wise, it wasn't like it was one of the best compared to other open-ended or open world games on the Nintendo Switch. But I honestly feel that Pokemon Legends ZA, with them constricting it to a city, they're going to make sure that things are a bit better running and looking on the Nintendo Switch. But remember, there could be a Nintendo Switch 2 version right around the horizon. And if that's the case, I see massive sales well above what we got with Pokemon Legends back in 2022. So look out for that as well. That's going to be a huge release that probably outsells many of the first half RPG releases on the Nintendo Switch by itself. Now, another game that I'm super excited for, and I'm kind of thinking, man, this maybe should be a little bit higher, even though it's in at number 4, and that's Metaphor ReFantazio. This game is coming out this October, and to me, it looks like the best RPG of the year, and potentially even the best game of the year so far. Right now, my game of the year is Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, and I know that's a re-release of a game, but there's so much new content, and it's so much better than what it was before. But if I had to pick a different game, I'm not really sure what it would be. There's a lot of games out there that are really good this year, but I feel that Metaphor ReFantazio is absolutely one of the best looking games, new IPs I've seen in a very long time, and I feel that this could be the best game of 2024 for myself. So it's hype. People are getting ready for it. I have seen some videos, people saying, oh, where's the hype for it and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, when the game is about to launch, this is going to be a good launch for Atlas and Sega. I'm expecting Metaphor ReFantazio to do really well, especially in the long term when Nintendo Switch 2 comes out. I think that's also going to be something to where they can put the game on the system and it can do well, which we did get some pretty solid information that this game will be coming to Switch 2. But even without it, I feel that people are going to show up on the PlayStation 5 and PC, especially once those reviews drop. I'm expecting this game to review and play really well. So look out. Metaphor ReFantazio, I feel, is going to be a big release for 2024 and do well overall in reviews and sales. But in at number 1 is Monster Hunter Wilds, and you can't go wrong with Monster Hunter, a series that has cultivated and grown an intrinsic base of people that has exploded with the release of the games on the Nintendo 3DS, then truly really shined with the release of Monster Hunter World, and then followed it up with the excellent Monster Hunter Rise. 10 million plus sellers, 20 million when it comes to Monster Hunter World and Iceborne. So this is the biggest, or one of the biggest RPG series out of Japan, and you're seeing here you've got massive games for the second half and into 2025 here that I feel, like I said, will do way better than a lot of the games that released in the first half of 2024 with Monster Hunter, Dragon Quest, Metaphor ReFantazio, Pokemon Legends ZA. All of those games have the potential to be baseline 5 million plus and all the way up to maybe even 20 million based on what platforms it comes out on and time. So for me, this is a huge kind of turn and shows just how strong JRPGs and RPGs are in this industry at this point, because we got all of those games earlier in the first half and everything for 2024, but there's still a whole slate of other awesome JRPGs and RPG games to come. So what do you guys think about the Famitsu Most Wanted and what's going on here? Let me know in the comment section. But now we have another mystery solved at this point, and it's a brand new Famicom Detective Club game, because there was that teaser last week or so about who's Emio, what's going on here, this little weird thing, and all of a sudden, bam, Nintendo announced it, and it's Emio, the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club, officially announced for the Nintendo Switch. This is the first new entry in the series in 30 years. Remember, the two Famicom Detective Clubs that came before it, those were just remakes of the original game. So we didn't really get anything new. So let's get into the information here. Then I'll give you guys my own personal thoughts on this. So following the teaser last week, Nintendo has announced mystery adventure game Emio, the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club for Switch. It is the first new Famicom Detective Club story in 35 years, excuse me, not 30 years, 35 years, following the previously released first and second installments in the series. It will launch both physically and digitally on August 29th worldwide for $49.99. Now here is more about the game. You can investigate the brutal death of its connection to the urban legend. A student has been found dead. His head was covered with a paper bag with an eerie smiling face drawn on it. Much like the victims of Emio, the Smiling Man, a killer of urban legend who is said to place such a bag over his victims' heads. As a private investigator, you are tasked with helping police solve this crime, which is reminiscent of the series of unsolved murders from 18 years ago. Has a serial killer returned, or is this the work of a copycat? Are the crimes inspired by the Smiling Man story, or the origin of it? Discover the answers to these questions as a member of the Utsugi Detective Agency in this intense story of suspicion, isolation, and fragility. Explore the interactive drama of interesting characters. Utsugi Detective Agency, with the return of familiar characters including returning protagonists from previous games, and Ayumi Tachibana, who was playable in certain sections of the game for the first time in the series. Playing as the investigative duo, you'll need to learn a lot about the personalities and backstories of the other characters if you want to discover the truth, who is harmless, and who is keeping important secrets. Ask questions, reference your notes, and make connections. You'll have to order your thoughts and examine your leads carefully to draw the right conclusions. And Metroid Man, Mr. Yoshio Sakamoto, is also heading up the producing role for this game. So, I mean, that's pretty cool they got him making this. Now, these games aren't typically my style of titles. This is more of the interactive visual novel detective crime type of game. AI the Summoning Files, I have played that, but I haven't fully played the Famicom Detective Club games, but there are a lot of people who do like this style of game, but it's just not necessarily my style of game that I play a lot. I have not played fully the Famicom Detective Club games. This game's kind of like an Ace Attorney type of thing, investigating, looking, asking questions, examining different things and all of that. So if you've played Famicom Detective Club 1 and 2, which I've seen people play the game on YouTube and I've watched the trailers and all that, if you're into that, then you'll probably be into this. If you're into Ace Attorney, then you'll probably be into this. If you're into visual novels and interactive type of games like AI the Summoning Files and things like that, then you'll probably be into this. Now, am I into it? No, not really. I'm not big into these type of games. I might check it out, I might not. Just one of those things to where I'm just not big into it. But I didn't really have any type of crazy high expectations for Emio first because they didn't show any gameplay. Now, we all thought it could be a brand new horror IP, and then some people thought, okay, maybe it's Blooper Team, but then other people were saying, no, maybe it's an internal Nintendo first-party game, or it's a new IP, or it's maybe an established one. We just don't know at this point. So I never really got into some type of super hype mode. I was just like, okay, let's just look and see what they're going to do going forward. It's interesting for sure, and it could launch this year, which I was thinking that it was going to launch this year because Nintendo wouldn't tease it like this and then not have something for it soon. And here you go. So shout outs to the Famicom Detective Club fans. They're hype on Twitter. Other people are very disappointed. They thought maybe it could be some type of Eternal Darkness type of IP or something, which I shut down when people were bringing that in. But yeah, it's one of those things to where it's not necessarily my cup of tea. I get why some people are upset. I get why other people are happy about it. And if you want to check it out, you can buy it. If you don't, you don't. I mean, it's pretty simple on that one. I'll for sure watch people on YouTube play the game, just like I did with Famicom Detective Club, the first one. So I'll for sure watch people play it at the bare minimum. So what do you guys think about Emio, the Smiling Man, Famicom Detective Club, first new entry in the series in 35 years? Let me know in the comment section below. But we do have one more new game announcement for the Nintendo Switch and PC, and that's Nocturnal II. This is a Metroidvania game. It's due out in 2025, so very interesting here. So Sunnyside Games, which is an awesome name by the way, has announced side-scrolling Metroidvania sequel Nocturnal II for Switch and PC via Steam. It will launch in 2025 at some point. Now, the original Nocturnal, which I didn't know this because I didn't know about the franchise, launched for the PS5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC via Steam on June 7th and was published by Dear Villagers. So they've already announced the sequel. This one came out June 7th. And then now they're doing another one and they're saying, oh, it's already announced for Switch, right? So we'll see what else it comes to in the future. So Nocturnal 2 is a hand-drawn juggle-based Metroidvania with a unique core feature. As a master of the Enduring Flame technique, a single blow on a fire source sets your sword ablaze, following you to push back the darkness and unleash stylish abilities. Use your flame wisely, as it can be swiftly extinguished by many foes trying to keep you in the dark. Here are the key features of the game. Metroidvania gameplay. Explore a non-linear world. burn your way through the city of Yatash. Unique fire system, keeping your flame alight is your only way to survive the many dangers ahead. Maintain it at any cost by striking fire sources and protect it to better see the enemy attacks. Fury juggling abilities, master your flames to hurl enemies and juggle them into ashes. Mix and match fire gems to unlock new spells. Hand-drawn 2D animation, engulf yourself in a fully hand-drawn 2D animated world. Scope, Nocturnal 2 is meant to be consumed in a relatively short amount of time, but many surprises are on the menu for those who seek different paths and true revelation, so replay value. So you can get through it probably in a few hours or so, but there's going to be new things that unlock, different paths to go, different places to see, different weapons or abilities or different things that happen, maybe even story endings. So I do love that when they do that with Metroidvania games. I'm a big Metroidvania fan myself. I never even knew about the first game when it comes to the release. I didn't even cover it, but now we have Nocturnal 2 that's coming out next year. So maybe I'll check out the first game before we get into this one. So what do you guys think about everything that we announced here, from the big RPGs in the second half to Emio, the Smiling Man, being revealed, Famicom Detective Club game, and of course Nocturnal 2? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch and RPG videos right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.